Okay. Good afternoon to you guys. Good afternoon. I'm here on Sewing with Tamara page, waiting to see how many of you will join me on this journey. So I'm here live, trying to get a couple of you to join this page. Let me see how much of you will join me on this Sew It Tomorrow page, trying to use up this page more. So I'm here with you guys to answer some questions about the sewing program. A lot of you keep asking me about the sewing program, so trying to use this page more so I can see if I could get most of you on this Sewing with Tamara page, trying to use up the page more, because most of my sewing activity would be done on this page. So I'm trying to get most of you to come over on this page. So I'm here to answer some question about the sewing lesson. A lot of you guys ask me some questions about it, what type of sewing machine I use, what type of machine I recommended, fabric and thing like that. I already did that in a class, quick tutorial for you guys. So most of you didn't see it, so I'm here to just give you a little update on what type of sewing machine I recommended. For me personally, I don't have no special sewing machine that I recommended. I say once you have a sewing machine and it's working properly for you, I find you can go ahead with that instead of going and put yourself in expense to buy an expensive machine, especially this sewing machine is not cheap. For me, I have all type of sewing machine I work on. The first one, as I said, I start off on is my husband had an old one, and that is the one I use. I learn on until when I could afford to purchase myself one, right? So for me, I recommend any type of sewing machine, as I said, once it working, right? There is one question that I get for answer about the sewing machine. Any type, once you have a sewing machine and it working properly, go ahead with that. Use that sewing machine. Or if you want to purchase one, some seamstress recommend the Brothers sewing machine, but for me, I prefer the manual sewing machine, one that is not computerized, because as I said before, once that board get damaged, it would be kind of difficult to get the board back for the machine. You'd have to end up buying a new one. So buy one that you can operate for yourself. One that work with current, the manual one that you can handle for yourself, rather than the button that just punch in like computer. That when that damage, it's hard to get a board for that. So the sewing machine I would recommend, once you have an old one, use it. Once it's stitching properly and doing everything for you, don't have to put yourself in expense. If you buy one, look for a manual one, not a computerized one, because once the board damage, as I said, is a problem, forget it. And next question I have here, what type of fabric do you recommend for beginners? Well, as I said before, for beginners, if you know it's something that you just starting out with, if you know that you never sew, you don't know anything about sewing, for me, I would recommend cheap fabric. Like polyester, you have cotton, you have like sheeting, or if you have like an old bed sheet or something, that could work, right? So I would recommend those type of fabric, cheap material. Look for cheap material. Don't go and buy any expensive fabric for now, because remember, you just start sewing, right? So you don't want to go and buy expensive fabric and then you spoil your fabric because you don't know nothing about sewing. The next question is, how do you started to sew? Wow. Well, for me personally, I always like fashion. Fashion was always my thing. Right? Since I small growing up, I like to dress up. I like to look nice. Right? So I always used to say, when I grow up, I'm going to be a fashion designer. I'm going to design my own clothes. I'm going to make my own jeans and everything. So growing up with that in mind, I always go towards that journey because I always want to design my own clothes. So that's how come I start learning to sew. Right? I in the sewing business about 9 years now. Yeah, I sew in my own clothes. So every piece of thing you see I have on, that's what I make for myself. Alright? Next question. Do you love sewing? Yes. That is a yes. Yes, I do love sewing. If sewing is something, if you don't love it, you cannot make it. You can if you don't love something, you won't go into it. So if sewing is something that you don't love, forget it. Don't join the classes because you will just waste time, you just waste money. Right? So I love sewing. Right? That's why I learned to sew. And as I said before, that since I was much younger, a young girl growing up, I always like fashion, I always like style, I always like pretty stuff, pretty clothes. And then the next thing, I don't like things that everybody have. I always like my clothes to be different. I always like to look stand out. I always like to look different from others. So I don't like dress alike thing. Like, you know, sometimes you go and buy something in a store and everybody have it on, or sometimes you want 3 person bounce up in it, 4 person. I don't like that. I like nice thing. I like fashion. So I design my clothes for myself. Right? I always come up with some design. You have to be creative. If for the thing I just say, if you into like fashion, you would know how you want to look, right? You would know what style you want to be in. For me, I find simple style for me, that's good enough for me. That once you accessorize these garments, I find it look good, it look nice. You have to know how to fix up yourself to bring these clothes out, right? So for me, I find you is the person who have to know how you want to look, right? So that's how I love, that's how come I end up sewing, because I know how I want to look. I know how I want to look in my clothes, what type of clothes I want to wear, and things like that. So when it comes to fashion, you have to know how you want to look, all right? And the next thing I would say about fashion and style is that never try to be somebody else. You know, some people always have this thing about them is like, okay, they see you, they may find you look good in this thing. They might find, well, you look nice, you look pretty, you know, the clothes fit you well. And sometimes they may go in and purchase the same thing. But remember, everybody make up different. How I may look in my clothes, you might look in yours. You might look different. So the thing I just say, always try to be yourself. Always try to be you. Never try like wanting to be somebody else. Because trying to be somebody else, it takes a lot of work. Right? It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of money, and all these things trying to be that person. Right? A lot of time I hear people, maybe they might see maybe a model or maybe a singer or somebody, and it's like the same hairstyle they want what this person have, the same clothes the person have on, they go in and they buy it, they want the same thing. It's a lot of work, because the thing is, when you try to match up with that person, remember that person already gone ahead, right? So you would always have to keep matching up with that person. You would always got to keep trying to meet up that person, and you would never meet that person. The reason why is because remember, that person already up there. They already have what they have. Now your little money that you have, you trying to spend to match up to meet that person, you wasting your time. You wasting time so much, and you're wasting your little resources that you have trying to reach up that person, because that person already up there already. They already have what they have, right? They already make a name for themselves. So always try to be yourself. Always be comfortable about who you is or who you are, right? Always try to be you. I just tell people, the more comfortable you feel in your skin, the more attractive you would feel, the more happier you would feel, the more you would feel more confidence, self-confidence. Some people don't have confidence in themselves at all. It's like, and the next thing I find most people will do, remember, everybody makeup different, right? And everybody body type different. Some people come from a big race family, right? Some people come from a slim race family. Some people may be thick, some people may be slim. If you is somebody thick, just be comfortable with who you is, right? Be comfortable. If you come from a big race, you come from a big race. For me, I know I come from a big race. I just be comfortable who I am. All you have to do is try not to get bigger, right? Because for me, I just tell people, if I allow myself, if I allow myself, just throw myself down, I would get more weight more than anything. And the next thing, avoid eating certain things, right? Some people, everything that pass, maybe they try to eat everything that pass, and maybe they think about the amount that they eat. The amount in matter. The thing about it, I just say, when it comes to eating, you don't have to eat a lot for your stomach to feel full, right? A small amount and lots of water, that would help you a long way, right? Next thing, as I said before, feel comfortable in your own skin. If you're a thick person, if you're a slim person, always try to be confident about yourself. And the more you try to feel comfortable in your own skin, your own body type, you would, good afternoon, you would feel more confidence about yourself, right? Never try to reach up this body or try to meet that body or try to do like this body or try to be like Tom Jones or whoever. Tom Jones already make a name for himself. Tom Jones already have what he have. Your little money you have, try to be you. Try to be comfortable how you feel about you. Next thing, I have a next question here. Somebody asks, do you wear short clothes? That's a no-no. For me, as I said, when it comes to short clothes, from long, since I was a very younger person, like a small girl growing up, I never liked too much of short clothes. Short clothes for me, as we would say with my grandmother, I grew with my grandmother most of the time. So growing with a grandmother, I just say she guide you in a right way, which I really appreciate how she brought me up, right, with these not with these short clothes. Always wear tights under your skirt or your dress or whatever. So that constantly left in me. It grow with me as I grow in. She always teaches us to dress properly, right? When you're going out, you put on a slip, you put on your tights, she always teach you for dress properly. So that live with me, constantly growing. Short clothes, I never see myself in short clothes because I never like my body out. I never like my legs out and these kind of thing. I never really like that. I always find a woman should dress properly. Even if you're a good looking woman, if you got good legs, good skin, I still find the whole world have to see what you have, right? You could cover yourself up and people could see you for who you are, right? Because according to who you dress, my grandmother always says, show me your company and I will tell you who you is, right? So that constantly grow with me. If you want to be respected, you have to respect yourself. And next thing, some people would say, oh, look, I'm going out to buy, trouble me, or telling me this. Sometimes we cause that for ourselves with the way we carry ourselves, the way we dress. Sometimes we cause that kind of thing for people to interfere with us, right? Like trouble us or call us name and these kind of thing. Sometimes we cause that for ourselves, right? The way we carry ourselves, the way we dress. So the short clothes for me, for me personally, that is just my personal opinion. You know, everybody has their own opinion. If you like wearing short clothes, that's up to you, right? That's your style, that's up to you. But for me, I personally, I doesn't really like short clothes. I don't have short clothes in the first place. I don't buy them. I don't even buy them for sale. Because sometimes I sell clothes. A lot of people would ask me for bring these clothes, but if I ain't wearing it for myself, I won't bring it for you. You have to go and buy that somewhere else. I don't care how much money I would lose. I prefer to lose it than going and bring those clothes to people. So selling those clothes to me, you would never see that on my shelf or in my boutique. That is a no-no. I don't like it for myself. I won't bring it. So if you want short clothes, you have to go somewhere else and look for them. I bring clothes what would make people look good, make them feel confidence about themselves. When you dress, you're going out, everybody must ask, where you get that? Your clothes look nice. You know, nice clothes. I don't like my clothes short, 4 inches to 3 inches under my knee. That good enough for me. You'd never really find me with a skirt above my knee, because I don't really like my kneecap showing. Because I always, since as I said, growing, my grandmother, she always say cover your kneecap, right? The minute that parts go above your kneecap, that is a no-no for me. So for me personally, I don't like too much short clothes. The next question, how do you style your clothes? Well, as I said from the beginning, since I small, I like fashion. I always like fashion and style. You could ask any one of my family about me. I always like putting things together. And it's not that something I would sit down and like plan. Like, you know, some people would put outfit together and see what match what. No, that is not for me. What I do for like styling my clothes, I would, for instance, if I know I have a function for go to, like let's say I have a function next month, which I do have a function next month for go to, I would get a couple pieces of clothes, I would lay it out on the bed, and I would try every piece on, right? Whichever one I feel comfortable in, and I find I get the looks that I want, that's the one I would wear. When it comes to where you say the dresses and so on, as I said, I lay them out on the bed, I put them on, I try on every piece, and whichever one fit me the way I want it to fit, give me the looks I want, how I want to look, that's the one I would wear, right? I would try that on. If I feel comfortable in it, I would go and I would wash it, iron it, and I would put it up there. For when that day come, I know I would wear that dress because I like how I look in it. I like how I feel in it, and so on. It give me the looks that I want, so I would wear that one, right? That's how I put my clothes together. I don't just say, well, I'm matching this and matching that. Whatever I feel comfortable in, that I wear. Right? The next question, how do you put your shoes to match with your clothes? Well, as for me, I love shoes, right? I have a weakness for shoes. If I go in town and I saw shoes that I like, I would buy that shoes, and then I would ask them like what's the other color they have in it. And if they have like 3 colors to 4 colors in it, I would take all the colors. That's how I buy my shoes. Especially if it's a shoe that I really, really love, I would take all the colors that they have inside. It doesn't matter if it's the one style. Once it's something that I love, I would buy the colors them in it. Sometimes there are 3 colors, I would take it, right? and that's how I go with my shoes. I would, and the dress that I picked out for wear to the function that I go in, I would put on back the dress, and I would put any shoes I would put with it. Whichever one look good, that's the one I would go with. So it's not a matter like you go in town, you buy this dress for these shoes. No. I have my dress already. I put it on, see how I feel inside, how I look inside, and I rest it there. And next time I get a shoe, I put on back the dress and I walk in some shoes with it. Match, put on like different pair of shoes, see which one comes with which one gonna look better with the dress, and that's how I go with it. What I do, I would put on one side of each shoe. Like if I have a red shoe and a blue shoe, I put on one of each, right? I like for yesterday, I have a photo up, I think is with the black and white. I think it's the black and white outfit. Let me see if it's the black. Yes, I think, let me see if y'all could see it. I think this outfit here, you see they have the red shoe with the red bag. Well, how come I come for that shoe with that outfit is that I go to wear it with a blue shoes, but I put on one side red and one side blue, and I find the red go better with the black and white. So that's how come I decide to go with the red shoe, and I put the bag with it. As you guys know me, if I buy a sneakers, a sandals, a shoe or anything, I must get the bag or maybe a belt or maybe a necklace or something to go with that shoes. Right? I doesn't like wear shoes when it ain't matching anything. Right? So that's how I match my shoe. I would put on one side of each the shoes them that I have, and whichever one look best with the outfit, that's what I would choose. Next question, let me see. Where do you buy your shoes? Well, to be honest, I don't have no special place I buy my shoe. Anywhere I go and I see a shoe, once I like it, I purchase it. Most of my shoes I would purchase it online. Much of my shoe would come from the States. I would purchase it online because sometimes I got to see you too, Monica. Sometimes I maybe just scrolling online, and maybe but I like most I would be online scrolling for, maybe I might look up like a shoes, like for instance, let's say I want to make a dress. Let's say I want to make a dress and I want a particular color shoes to go with this dress, right? I would go online and I would scroll and I would look for that shoes. When I found the shoes, I would look for the bag to go with the shoe. See if I get at least, sometimes you don't always get like the same color to go with the shoe or the thing. I take something as close to it as possible. That's what I would do more, and I would scroll until I find the shoe that I wanted to go with that dress. So most time it would take me like sometime a week, sometime 2 weeks to find what I looking for. But I would search and search and search and search till I find that shoes what I looking for. And when I found that shoes, I would purchase it right away, because sometimes they might only have 2 or they might only have 1. So I would purchase it right away. So most of my shoes, I would purchase it from the States, right? Yes, I would purchase most of my shoes from the States. I buy it online, they ship it to me, and I receive it. They would call me for it when it comes, right? So most of my shoe I buy it online. Next question, bags. Where do you get your bags from? Well, as I said, once I purchase the shoes, I would look for the bag. So if I purchase in a shoe online, I would look for the bag at the same time online. Sometimes the bag come from 2 different companies. So sometimes I pay more, right, for ship one item than the other item, because when you have to ship these things and they come in separate package, I would pay more to ship the two separate package if it was one package. If it was one package, you would pay lesser to ship one package than for ship you would pay less for ship one package. If they come in one package, you would pay less. But if they come in two separate package, you would pay more for the shipping. So sometimes I have to pay more for the shipping, right? Because sometimes the bag and the shoe come from two separate buyers. So I don't have no particular place where I would buy bags or where I would buy shoes. Anywhere online I go and I looking for shoes. Once a nice one come up, once the price is reasonable, right, enough for me, I would purchase it. Right? Next question. What is the height of your heel shoes? What is the height of your heel? The shoes that you wear. How high your heels does be? Okay. I think I covered that in a video before. 4 inches is high enough for me. Right? I cannot walk in more than 4 inches. Right? And I cannot walk in less than 3.5 inches. If I go lower than 3.5 inches, it's best I wear a sneakers or a flat sandals or something. 4 inches have to be my heel height, because tell the honest truth, especially when you have on clothes, right? Especially if you going to a function. I done short already, right? So I would need a little height, especially wearing certain clothes. You need a little height, especially when you short. You need height, right? It's like, for instance, sometimes you may wear a spandex dress, right? You have a small bust. You need something to give it a little lift. So most people would buy like the 2 size up bras and those things. So for me, I already short already. I need a little height. So buying shoes heel like 2 inches, 1 inch, an inch and a half, 2.5 inches, 3 inches. To me, that too low for me. I really can't walk in this 2.5, 3 inches. That is better I wear a sneakers, because it constantly it too flat, it too low. Like for me, I constantly buy. I get accustomed to the 4 inches heel. That heel height, that's good enough for me. I can't go higher than that. If I even go like a 1/4 inch higher, that's too high for me. It must be 4 inches direct, right? 4 inches direct, that's the highest I could walk in. I can't walk in higher than that, right? Buying a 5 inches heel and those heels, that is a waste of time for me, because I would just have to park that. That most of the time, you have to look for see what the review. Sometimes I look at review to see how people talk about the shoes, if it pain the foot or so. So 4 inches for me, that's fine enough for me. That's the highest I do. The lowest is 3.5 inches. Can't walk in lower than that. Can't walk in higher than 4 inches. So that's how come I know my heel height. The next question is, let me see, I have so much question here for answer. I'll try to pick out the main ones, them where I find need answering. So I'll try to. Okay. What type of shoe do you buy? I think I answered that already. Tell you the honest truth, what type of shoe I buy, I don't have no special shoe. You know, some people go for like all these name brand, and the name brand, that don't matter to me. That's not my thing, right? I just say once I love the shoe, once I like the shoe, once the shoe is of a good quality, or even say if it's not a good quality, once I like the shoe, I would buy that shoe. So for me, this name brand thing, this don't bother me. I don't, but I see some people that buy some shoes for some price because of a name, right? And when you go in them other store, the same shoe they buy for this name, the same shoe there for a lower price, right? So for me, name doesn't put me out. Once the shoe good, once I could get my money worth in the shoe, and once I like the shoe, I would go for it. So this my shoe ain't have no special name and all these kind of things. I just tell people, I just sell. And sometimes people would ask you, is this security some, there's called some name, me myself can't even call it. I just tell them, listen, I don't go for name, right? I go for quality. Once it's a good quality, right? Once I get my money, what? I gonna buy that. But forget this name and all these names y'all calling. Me ain't got them name done though. My thing is local, right? So for me, my shoe ain't no special name. Once I see a shoe, once I know I can get a couple wearing out to it like a year or two, because I don't want a shoe lasting you 40, 50 years. That won't get ugly, right? So once I get a year or a two out of it, I good to go. That suit me, right? So my shoe is not no special name brand shoe. I don't buy name brand. Name brand, for me, I find I doesn't really in for the name brand stuff, right? So I won't waste my money on these name brand stuff. The cheaper I get it is better for me. I save more money in my pocket, right? Because when I go buy a shoes for $400 and $500, and I could get one for $20 something, look how much money I save in, right? So my shoe ain't got no brand. Shoes for me is shoes. Once I see it and I like it, that's it. I purchase it. Once I feel comfortable in it, that's good enough for me, right? The next question. Where do you buy ready-made clothes? Well, to be honest, ready-made clothes, that's just my opinion. You know, everybody have the different opinion. I don't like ready-made clothes. The most I would buy like for ready-made is like jeans, right? And a lot of time I sew my own jeans, right? But sometimes I go in town, I may see a jeans that I like or a pants that I like, I would purchase that, right? But purchasing ready-made clothes, to me, I don't get the look how I want to look and the feel how I want to feel in ready-made clothes. That clothes could be nice as what, right? I feel more comfortable in making my own clothes. So most of my clothes you see me guys put up, right? My photo and so I would make my own clothes. Most of them clothes I just make them. Ready-made clothes, I don't buy ready-made clothes. I just don't like ready-made clothes. That's just my opinion. Everybody have their own thing, but for me, I prefer to make my own because I feel more comfortable. I get my clothes to fit me more better, everything. The reason why I don't like ready-made clothes, I don't have nothing against ready-made clothes, right? But the reason why I don't really like ready-made clothes is because you always have to buy in something bigger than your size, right? Ready-made clothes never have like one set of size. Like for instance, let me say your hip is like your bust is like a 38. Let me say your waist is like a 33. Let's say your hip is like a 44. You would never find a dress in that range to fit you, right? You always, let's say you carry in a 44 hip measurement, right? Now, for you get a ready-made dress to fit you, right? For a 44 hip measurement, you have to buy a size 14 dress, right? So when you buy a size 14 dress, what happened to the waist? The waist is 38, the bust is 42, right? So you always have to be altering that. And then the thing is, when you alter that, when you take that in, the hip become tight, right? Because remember, the hip is already 44, right? So when you go and you drawing the waist and drawing the bust, you going down towards the hip. So that become tighter. So that's the reason why I don't really like ready-made clothes, because the problem sometimes with the hip, you always have to buy it to fit your hip. And you end up with a big bust measurement, a big waist measurement. The dress at the top would be always loose. The waist would be always loose, right? But it would fit perfect in the hip. Now, taking in that, right, is a lot of work. Sometimes these dresses have a lot of lining and all these sponge and that. The time I take for go through that, better I buy a piece of cloth and better I sew my dress to myself, where I know I'm going to get a 38 bust, a 33 waist, and a 44 hip. I know what I cut in for fit me. So when I finish, I get a perfect fit. I don't have to take in anything because I make my dress to suit my body shape, right? Buying a ready-made dress, sometimes it's a lot of work. And I just tell people, sometimes a lot of people call me and ask me, do you do alteration? Me, I just tell them no. Alteration, yes, it have money, but it's a lot of work. I prefer you buy a fresh piece of cloth and bring to me. Let I cut something fresh for you. Alteration, I don't take it in at all. I don't take it. There's one work I just say, I don't care what money it paying, I ain't taking it. Because sometimes you have to rip out all these lining, all them sponge, all them... That would give more headache more than anything else. So, ready-made clothes to me, that is just my opinion. I don't get the fit I want it, and so I don't buy ready-made dress. Any function I have to go to, or my meetings or anyway, I always make my own clothes. I feel more comfortable in it. I feel more like myself. I feel like tomorrow. I feel good in making my own clothes. And when you could make your own thing for suit you, you feel more confidence about yourself. You feel more good that you could step out and you and the whole nation have the same thing, right? So I don't buy ready-made clothes. That is a no-no for me. So I give you my part of why I don't like ready-made clothes. You may have your own opinion and so on, right? So I don't get the look I want in ready-made clothes, so I don't buy ready-made clothes. The only thing in ready-made I would buy is like a jeans and a top, right? Dresses, skirt, and jumpsuit and these things, I make it for myself, right? Next question. Let me see. Let me pick out one because I have lots of questions here. Let me see. Do you sew every day? No. I don't sew every day. When I go to sew, what I would do, I would if I know I have, like for instance, we have like a 3 days function does be going on like every year, like every August we have like a 3-day convention. So what I would do, I would go like now if I know like I have a function coming up and I know like it's in August, I would start sewing my clothes since the middle part of March. That's how early I sew my clothes, because the reason why I start so early is because just you left enough room for in case anything come up. And then again, sometimes so much people flooding you, right, to get things done for them, right? So sometimes you get squeezed in the middle, right? So what I do, if I know I have a lot of sewing, I would do mine first. Like I buy my cloth now and I would start working on my clothes now, right? So that when everybody bring their material or I have to do some things, my clothes are already sewn, right? So I always start early. I don't sew every day. Like if I going to sew an outfit, I would sew like 3 outfits, like, and that's it. Like sometimes for the whole month I mightn't sew, right? So I don't sew every day because I have my normal routine. Being a housewife, you have children, then I work with my husband, then I have my house chore to do. I have so many things to do, so I can't sew every day, right? So I pick a day or I pick a week or some like 2 days in that month or so on, where I would sew and I would have things done. But I have clothes that I sew that I already sew ahead that I have hang up so that when I'm ready to do my blog post, I have the clothes there already sewed, so I could just interchange in them. Alright, next question. Where do you buy your material? Well, material selling all about the place, as I just say. Me I no special way where I purchase my material for sewing my clothes. I don't have no special way going and purchase this. Any local fabric store, once I walk in it and I see a fabric that I like, I see a material that I like, I would purchase it, I would put it up, and when the right time me to sew that, I would sew it. I don't go and buy material today and sew it today. No. I have material where I have since about how much years ago, right? That I never even sew. I just go, I saw the material, I like it, I buy it, and I rest it down there for when the right style come ahead. Because sometimes you may buy a piece of fabric, and some people when they buy fabric, they cut into it one time. I don't do that. Sometimes an idea might come up in my head, and when I look through my fabric, I might see, well, yes, I have this fabric for the style that come in my head. I would go and I would draft out the style, right? Fit that clothes up together and then put it on my real fabric, right? And see how it looks. So I don't have no special place I buy fabric. Once I walk in a store, I saw a fabric that I like, a material that I like, I would purchase it, right? So there are no special way or special place where I would buy my fabric. Any fabric store selling fabric, and you go in and you see a piece of fabric, you buy it, you like it, you put it down there. If you want, you sew it now. It's all up to you. But for me, I don't sew it now. I rest it down there till when I'm ready, right? So that's me. Anywhere I buy fabric from. Next question: how much fabric do you buy to give you an outfit? Okay, it depends on it depends on the style, right? And it depends on the width to the fabric. Because for instance, they have 45 inches fabric, they have 56, they have 60, they have 90, they have 120. They have different width in fabric. I always look for the 60 inches fabric, and I always buy 3 yards of fabric. Sometimes I left with a little piece over if I am not lining the clothes. If I am lining the clothes, I have to buy extra fabric for that, right? So I would buy 3 yards. That's the most I would buy for, like, give me a outfit. And when I mean an outfit, it's not no big fancy like you know, like style. They have them style with these collar up and these long sleeve and these wrap, and for wrap and all these things you are buy more cloth than though. But for me, like for instance, the black and white like this. I don't know if you guys can see this still. Like this black and white outfit, I purchased two yards. I think it's 2 yards. Yeah, for my size, I purchased 2 yards of fabric. Like a yard of the black and a yard of the blue I purchased. So 2 yards of that work good for me, right? Because remember, that is something straight, right? That is something straight. Hold on a second. Just give me a second. 1 second. Hello? Hey.
Hi guys.
What's up? It's up. Oh. Yeah, drop it down. I'm saying a young one for my beyond there. Come on by top of there. I was saying your come on by the barrage there. And I was saying okay, I was saying it beyond. Hey, what don't you my papa and call it to talk to me? Sorry about that. Yes, we was talking about the amount of fabric I purchased to make my outfit. As I said, this outfit, I only use 2 yards. A yard of the white and a yard of the black. Forgive me this outfit that I have on. And that is the 60 inches fabric, right? The only way 2 yards work for me is because I am from extra large go down, right? The 2 yards would only work for like from extra large. When I mean extra large, not no big extra large, right? Like from 44 hip measurement go down, right? The 2 yards would work. If your hip measurement is all 50 and these, you have to buy more than that. The 3 yards would work, a yard and a half or each would work for the straight skirt and the just a straight top with the sleeve. You might lucky to get a sleeve, right? Because sometimes people have big arms, so that would take up a lot of fabric. So if yours like from an extra large down, the 2 yards would give you that outfit that I have on, right? But if you are from a 2X go way up to all these 5X and 6X, the 2 yards can't work. You gotta buy about 4 yards, right? So for me, the most I would buy is 3 yards of fabric. 3 yards of fabric. I always buy 3 yards of fabric. Any fabric I see once is a 60 inches fabric, I would always buy 3 yards. The reason why I would buy 3 yards is that when I'm ready to cut out my garments, I must have enough, right? I must have enough. So I won't have to be running in the store, and then when you go back for the fabric, it ain't have enough. So 3 yards the least I would buy like for sewing like an outfit for me, right? Next question. Let me pick out one because a lot of questions. You can't answer all these questions to the next week. I will do a next Q&A. Next question. When you make those clothes, do you wear them often? Well, to be honest, tell you the honest truth, the question if I wear them often, I don't really like to wear my clothes that often. That's the truth about it. If I make an outfit and I wear that outfit now, you won't see me back in the outfit maybe till next 2 to 3 months or so, because to me, I find I already wear the outfit already. So like wearing it back right away, like let me say like a week or 2 after, I don't get the same like look or the same kind of feelings like I had when I wore it first. So wearing it back quick for me is a no-no. I personally don't like to wear back clothes. Honestly, telling you the honest truth, that's just me. That's just how I am. I just don't like to wear back clothes. But if I make an outfit that I really like, right, I would keep that outfit. Whereas some I would give it away, like especially if I don't really like wearing it back. But for me personally, I always like to look fresh. I always like to look fresh. So constantly like wearing back the outfit right away, no. I would give it a rest like for like a month or like 2. And I would wear it back maybe after a month or maybe a month and a half. But let's say like a week or 2 after, that's a no-no. I always like fresh things. I always like to be rotating, like, you know, get a fresh look and these kind of things, right? So wearing it back like often as possible, like let's say like how I wear the black and white one like yesterday. I went to a meeting, I wear that. That outfit won't go on back on me maybe till next month or maybe a month and a half or something like that. Some way down the line, I would put that up and I would forget about that till when I remember it. Then I would go and I would pull it out and I would wear it. You won't find me wearing it like within 2 weeks or 3 weeks. That would be like a whole month or so. So I don't really wear it often. All right. So that's just me. Right. Next question. Let me see. Let me pick out some here because you have so many questions people ask you. Who do your hairstyle? Okay. Well, hairstyle for me, let me tell you the honest truth with hairstyle. I don't like no fancy hairstyle, right? As you guys notice in all my photo I would put up, is some simple hairstyle. You see all these, some people had all these. That's what them people like. For everybody different. You may like fancy hairstyle. I may like just something simple. That's all about you. right? You do your hair how you want it to do, how you feel comfortable with it. That's you. But for me personally, I don't like no big set of hairstyle, right? I like something simple, but it must look nice. It must suit your face. Because when for instance, the question the person asks, who do your hairstyle? Sometimes, most of the time, I will do it for myself. When I want like a salon look, you know, sometimes you just feel like like you want this kind of salon look. I would go to the salon, pay my money, I would sit down, and I would direct them how I want my hair to do, right? They ain't giving me what style they think might look good on me. Because sometimes when they turn you wrong to the mirror, or you get up and you look in the mirror and you see your face, that's the worst hairstyle you ever get. So for me, I just guide them along how I want my hair. So both me and them just do the hair, because I guiding them how I want my hair, what style I want my hair in, how I want it fall, so that my face could always look like round and nice. Because I just find people with wrong face, for me, people with wrong face, any style hairstyle would look good on them. Once you have a wrong face, I find any style would look good on wrong face people, right? And for me, I find wrong face people should go in wrong face hairstyle, right? Some people going off, right? Because they have a wrong face, they're going with a narrow face person hairstyle, right? So for me, I just guide them along how I want my hair. I want something just simple. I don't want all these flick up, flick up, flick up. You know, sometimes you go in. One time I go to do a short hairstyle, right? One time I go to do a short hairstyle, and this girl go to give me this hairstyle, and before she even start, I find when she start to put the tracks them in, instead of she have it torn down, she have it torn up. So it kind of flick up, flick up, flick up. You know, like them sensor phone. Flick up, flick up, flick up. I tell she, hello, forget this hairstyle. I ain't paying me money for that. I need hairstyle we're going to lie down and we're going to make my face look good. So all these flick up hairstyle and these bore up hairstyle, I just tell them that is not for me. I need something simple, something we're going to look good with anything I put on. That's all I need. Right? So I go to the salon sometimes to do my hair. Sometimes I do it myself, because sometimes you go in the salon and sometimes when you come out, you just say it's better you do your hair for yourself, because some you don't even like the style they put in your head. Sometimes you don't even like how they do your hair, right? So a lot of time I would more do my hair for myself, and I would more, sometimes I go to the salon, sometimes I do it for myself. Right, so that's how I do my hair, salon and home, right? Because I did cosmetology, so I have certificate in hairdressing. So most of the time I would do my hair for myself, right? Next question: who do your makeup? Tell the honest truth, makeup, I just say, for me, I don't use too much makeup on my face, because the reason why I don't like too much makeup on my face, I do use a little, but not much as how some people would use makeup. I doesn't like this thing where if you put on a white shirt, if you go for wipe your hands or something, your neck touch your clothes, all the makeup come off on your clothes. I really don't like that. And then when you hug people, especially you're dirty in like people clothes, getting people clothes messed up, I really don't like that. Because sometimes somebody got to give you a hug and your face brace their clothes. When you look, you just feel so shameful to see that your face just dirty that person white shirt or maybe there. So a lot of makeup for me don't matter. I do use some, and what I use on my face is minor, right? Not much, right? I would get to what I just use, but I don't use a lot of makeup. I never like all this makeup. Excuse me a little. Hello? Tamara speaking. Good. Mm-hmm. 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 What size really you looking for? Small? When you want it for? Well, you could get it for weekend, like Friday, God's willing. If that's good enough for you. No, I have it already. But that's when I'll be coming in town. Well, just go for now. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 190. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, you have to call me before. You have to call me like Wednesday or Thursday. That would be good for me. So you could get it for Friday. Mm-hmm. All right, good. Yeah, morning time. Okay. Mm-hmm. Good. Mm-hmm. Yes, sorry about that, guys, for just leaving you, but my phone just keep ringing. The black and white skirt suit that I put online. Everyone just calling me for that small skirt suit. Who want small, who want large, who want medium. So I always would have to be answering calls. I may have to put this phone on mute for now, right? But the skirt suit got everybody disturbed. Everybody want that skirt suit that I had on, the one that I have up, the latest one that I have up online. So that's why you would see me asking you for an excuse for go and answer the call for let them know what's up with the skirt suit. Yes, so the makeup, yes, as I was saying, I don't like too much of makeup, right? So I don't wear too much of makeup. Next question, what type of makeup do you use? Well, tell you the honest truth, I like black opal. Black opal makeup, for me, I find it kind of give your face like a different look. Like, everybody got their own makeup that they like. Some people would go for the Sasha, some people may go for L'Oreal, some people may go, everybody have different thing what they like. But for me personally, I like black opal makeup. I find they have different type, like for different skin, like for oily skin, for dry skin, they have for different shade, everything. They have, black opal have what I just be looking for. So I would go with black opal. I don't use no other makeup but black opal. So that's what I would stick with, right? So black opal, that's my pick. Next question, let me see. Okay, what type of makeup do you use? As I said, black opal I use. Yes, I use black opal. I use I don't use the foundation. I don't use the foundation in makeup. You know they have the liquid foundation. I don't use that. I really don't like foundation on my face. The reason why I don't really use foundation is because constantly using foundation, you see, under your eye hair and around your eye hair, when you wash your face off, all around here so does leave black. All around here does get this black, all around here face black. And there's something like it force you now to like you can't do it without makeup. So for me, I don't use foundation on my face. I don't use foundation at all, the liquid foundation. Sometimes most people would stop me and ask me what foundation I have. I don't use foundation. I don't use foundation for that one reason, because some people I see them in makeup and you can't watch them when them in have makeup at all. You want to know if it's two different persons you see. Makeup kind of tends to make your face look old after a time. So I don't use the foundation at all, at all, at all. What I would more use on my face is the they have this thing called the let me get a right name for you. It's called total coverage. I may more use the total coverage and the dry powder. That's all I use. Some people would ask me what foundation you have, and I don't use foundation. I may buy a small, the total coverage in a small bottle like that, a small jar. I would use that, the total coverage alone, and just some dry powder on my face. Some eye pencil and lipstick. That's all. Right? All this big set of foundation and all this rouge and douche and all these worries that us having makeup. One time, let me tell you, one time my daughter had a graduation ball to go to when she was graduating out of school. And she said she wants a makeup. She going and get this makeup. She go and she get this makeup. When my daughter come home, when telling you the makeup look good, it look really, really, really nice. But the amount of thing that they have on that makeup, excuse me, go and answer this phone and go down the hill for that thing. The amount of makeup they had on this child face, right? It was too much. It was a lot, right? They had, but man, I can't even explain the amount of different type of thing they have on her face. What? Excuse me. Hello. Okay. I sending him feet. Go down by Papa. Yeah. Sorry about that. I'm going to turn off this food. Yeah, so I find makeup, the makeup artists, I mean, that's their job. That's what they do for a living. That's their job. That's their profession. I'm not coming down upon anyone, because everybody have their profession they like, right? But for me personally, I don't like all this makeup on my face. I don't like it because it push you to like a stage like you can't do without it. It's like you're addicted to it. Like when you see your face without the makeup, it's like you say, nah, there's a no, I can't go downtown, so I can't go. I could go anywhere without makeup, because with makeup or without makeup, I look the same. Because I don't use a lot of makeup on my face. I just dust my face with some total coverage, some dry powder, and I put on my lipstick and my thing, and I gone in town, or I gone where I have to go. I don't have all these things on my face, all this about 5 layer of foundation, then 5 layer of the total coverage, 5 layer of the rouge, then 5 layer. I can't take on all of that. Would weigh my face down. So I don't use all that makeup. The only thing I use is the total coverage and the dry powder. Right? That's what I use on my face. I ain't into this big set of makeup thing, because I really don't like it. I don't really like it. Right? The next question, let me see. There are so many questions here. Trying to pick out some that make sense. Next question. Do you plan on doing sewing for people who want to learn? Well, on this same page that I am, you see, every time I put up a post, I would say, well, giant sewing with tomorrow. Don't get left behind. Yes, that is something I wanted to do years now. Was in the making, right? A long time now. So I decided to come up with doing like a sewing program like every Sundays. Because the reason why I choose Sunday is more relaxed for more people. During the week, people have a lot of work when they go to work. So on Sunday afternoon, like around 2-3 o'clock, more people would find them relaxed. They would more scrolling the internet and these kind of things. So I plan on doing that, right, for like people who want to learn to sew their own clothes. I would be doing that kind of online kind of sewing, right, and Hopefully, I'm planning to start that on the 24th of this month, right, which is January. I'm still waiting on this sewing machine, which I have sewing machine that I using, but I want to give you guys it from like the beginner stage, right? Like everything fresh out the box, like show you how to operate a sewing machine, what fabric to use, like beginner stage, right? I don't want to use my machine for doing it because y'all won't really see what the machine come with, how to hook it up, because that is a machine I've been using for a long time. So I purchased one just to show you like how it come to take it out the box, how to fit it up, everything. I ain't received it yet, hoping to receive it next week. So I put this sewing for like the 24th. So I'm trying my best to work it out to see if I can really launch it on that day, right? Even so, if I ain't get the sewing machine within that time, I would be still doing like a freebie course online the same 24th, so that I could get you guys familiar with what would be taking place. So yes, I plan on doing that. That is something I already working towards, right? That I have all organized, but I put it for the 24th of this month, which would be coming out soon. So right on this page here, that's why I more use this page for live video, for answer like questions, so I can get you guys familiar with sewing with Tamara page. I have more than one page. I have Tamara Fashion Side, I have Tamara Roberts, and I have Sewing with Tamara. This one that I am on is Sewing with Tamara, which is the right page that you guys need to join, that I want you guys to be on. This same page that you watching me on, right? So yes, that is something I will be bringing out on the 24th of this month. So don't get left behind, as I say. Look on this same page, you're going to see it marked join. Just click that button and that notice would come to me, and I would approve that membership once I see somebody who really want to join the Sewing with Tamara, right? They had some people join which I had to delete because some people put in all kind of thing on the page, and the page is not for that. The page that I create, Sewing with Tamara, is for people who want to join the sewing program and who would sew thing, and they can put their things that they make on that Sewing with Tamara page. The page is not for put up all kind of thing. What this morning I had to delete someone who put up borrowing some loan and somebody singing with some gospel thing. I didn't create that page for that. So I had to delete a couple members because they joined the page to post their thing on it, and that's not what I create that page for. I say if you want to put thing on Facebook, create your own page, right? I create my page and my members so that when they saw the thing, they could put it up on the page, not for put up all kind of things. So some members I had to delete and so on. So that's what, so that is join the page, right? The page is not for people putting up all kind of different things. The page is for people who in the membership, for whatever I teach you to sew and you do it, you can put it up on the page so that I can see, right, that you making progress. That's what the page is for, right? Not for nobody put up nothing for sale and all these kind of nonsense. Next question. Let me see. Will you be in your class? When will the class start? Well, I just answered the question there. That question I just answered, I said the 24th of this month, right? So this when the class would start, the 24th of this month. Next question. Let me see. I have to pick them out because there's so much. Will we be measuring? Yes. I will teach you how to measure your body so that you can cut that clothes to fit you. So yes, we'll be doing measurement and so on. Will we be sewing in the class? Yes, we'll be doing some sewing. I will give you some freebie videos. Do you have a website where you put most of your picture other than Facebook. Yes, I have a website which I created. I think I gave you that name already. Let me see if I can just pull it up for you. I think I gave you that name already, Tamara Fashion Style. Yes, I do have a personal website, Tamara Fashion Style. That's where you would find most of my what you seen on Facebook is just the this. I don't know if you guys, when you go to Tamara Fashion Style, a page like this going come up in your face, and it's going to asking you if you want to join, subscribe or not. If you want to subscribe, you press subscribe now. You put in your email address. If you have an email address, you press subscribe now, or not, you press no thanks, right? It's up to you. So yes, I do have a personal website. It look like this. I don't know if you guys can see it. Right, this is what it look like. So when you go, you would see you just have to type in tamarafashionstyle.web. Right, I know the light is a little bright here. You see how the website scrolling. So most of my style would be on this tamarafashionstyle.web. There will you would see the back of the dress, the front, the side. Where I buy the fabric would be below with all the writings. There is where you would get more details on that website. And here is where most of the sewing activity would be taking place, because here is where the video would be posting. What you would see on Facebook is just the starting of the video, but the continuation would be on my personal web page, right? So that's why I want you to get familiar with tamarafashionstyle.web. That's my personal website, right? So all you have to do is go there, sign up, right? I don't think you can see the name of the website, but it's tamarafashionstyle.web. I will put the link below. So all my posts would have, you would see the website at the side of it, right? So yes, I do have a personal website. There and I have a shop page too, where I sell my things. So you can purchase on that website. You can do all what you want. It's a secure website, so you can go ahead and do your things. All right, you can sign up. So any new style I post on the website, it would come automatically to your email address. So you would always know what new I bring out. Because once you sign up to the website, everything that I put on the website, you would get notified that, look, Tamara Fashion Style just put up this new dress style, just put up this for sale, just put up that. You would always be updated in whatever I do once you sign up to the website. Next question, I would answer maybe about 5 more questions from this list, and I would leave the rest for next week, because this is a whole long list. Let's see, let me see what I could pick out from here. Let me see. Do you have children? Somebody asked me if I have children. Yes, I have 3 children. I have one is 19, one is 23, and a 9-year-old. So yes, I have 3 children. I'm a mother of 3. So yes, I have children. Next question. Do you marry? Yes, I am a happily married woman. Yes, I am married. Okay. So that's the question. Do you marry? Yes, I answered that question. Yes, I am married. How long do you marry for? How much years now you married? 10 years now since I married. So I married 10 years now, right? 10 years now since I got married. So it's not just a yesterday something. 10 years. Yes, I am married. I'm married for 10 years. I'm a mother of 3. Next question. Do you like to cook? Watch out, so much question people ask you, do you like to cook? I love to cook. Cooking is my thing. I love the kitchen. I love to cook. I would always be in the kitchen, right? I love to cook, right? I like to experiment. I like to do all kind of things. So you would always find me more in the kitchen. I do all the cooking. My husband would make the breakfast. I would cook the lunch. Everybody make their own dinner, because sometime maybe the timing that we come in, everybody would choose what they want to eat. So I cook lunch, my husband do the breakfast, I do the lunch, pack everybody bowl, they gone, and dinner time everybody eat what they want to eat. So yes, I love cooking, I love to cook, and I always cook, right? So hope that answer your question. Next question, let me see. How do you keep your normal weight? How do you keep your normal weight? What do I mean, how do I keep my normal weight? Well, tell you the honest truth, weight is something I find, for me, that is for me. I don't know about other people, but I telling you based on my experience. I quick to gain weight, right? So no, you have to know yourself. As I said before, you have to know yourself, right? So I know, for me, I quick to gain weight, right? And that is the hardest thing to get off, is weight. Anybody would tell you, weight easy to gain, but it's hard to throw off, right? Now I know that I gain weight. Anything I eat, to me, I gain weight. So I avoid eating certain things. Like for instance, ice cream and these things, I would eat that once in a blue moon, right? Some people have to eat ice cream every night or every week. Once in a blue moon, I would eat ice cream. And I had to really want a taste of ice cream before I buy ice cream. I don't buy ice cream, period, right? If me and them children go out, they would buy the ice cream. I refuse, right? I don't really like ice cream, as I know these things, a lot of milk, a lot of sugar, a lot of all these things. So if I want to remain at one size, I avoid eating certain things. Cheese, for instance, I hardly eat cheese. My husband always buy cheese. Them children always buy cheese. I don't watch cheese. Not that I don't like cheese, but I know all these kind of fatty thing, like I try to avoid it. Sugar, I love sweet. When I tell you I love sweet, if I make my tea and I don't have sugar inside, like if my husband make a cup of tea for me, or my daughter make a cup of tea for me, and for the time I taste it and it ain't no sugar, I would tell them, well, this tea want more sugar. I would get up and I'd go and put sugar inside, right? That's the only thing I would drink like that sweet, is like my tea have to get sweet. But drinking all these big soda, all these things, when I was much younger, I used to drink a lot of sweet, a lot of soda. I could not do without a Coke. I must get a Coke to eat that food or anything. Sometimes for the day, I would drink about 4 Coke, right? But I cut all of that out. I cut that down. So I cut out the soda, all those big fatty things like ice cream, cheese, butter, all these things. I don't really follow up these stuff, really. Soda, that's a no. I cut that out. Like all these ready-made kind of stuff, I don't really buy them. I try to eat more healthy stuff, right? And less the portion of what I eat. You know, some people have to get a whole plate of food to fill their stomach. A small portion, maybe like this, good enough for me. Like just like a handful. I try to eat like a small amount. and like put more vegetable like in the plate, so that would keep my weight at one weight, so I won't like go over the bar though. Like, and then the next thing what I would do, like for like let my weight remain at one weight, is like I always have, remember I always sewing, so I would always have a measuring tape, and I would measure my hip, and I have one particular measurement I always want my hip to be at. And if I pull that measuring tape and I notice, well, my hip gone up an inch or 2 inches or 3 inches more, I know I have to bring that down back. So what I would do, I cut out the things or lessen. You don't have to be cut, you don't have to cut it out right away, but less the amount that you're eating, so that your waist could come, your hip could come down back to what you always wanted to, and that's how I keep my weight at a normal range, where I always have a measuring tape. I always measuring my hip to see if it climbing. If it going down, it's good for me. But once it climbing, I don't want that. I like my clothes to fit me one way. I don't like to feel stuffed and tight. You know, so you put on some clothes, you feel tight. And next thing, you must know when you gaining weight, your clothes just feel tight. You just feel uncomfortable. So for me, once I start feeling uncomfortable and I find like my clothes feeling too tight and like, it's like you feel like too choked. So for me, I know that I gain weight, so I try to avoid certain things. And late night eating, that's the next thing. The latest I find people should eat is like 6, right? In the state we eat maybe about since 5 o'clock. And during you take a little snack, nothing heavy. But eating like 9 and 10 and 11 and these things in the night, these things tends to gain a lot of weight, because remember you going and lie down, right, with these things, you going to sleep, so all these heavy things and all these things, this food ain't getting for, you getting for walk around for like burn all these calories and these things. And then I think the food have a lot to do with calories. Some people eat a lot of calories when the day come, they don't even know how much they're taking in. So I have a food chart that what I try like to follow, that so it would I would use like less calories. So like if I'm making a cake and the recipe calls for like 2 cups of sugar, I only put 1, right? If it calls for like a teaspoon of salt, I only put half. So you remember, you making your thing, so you have to listen on what you eating. So I use less salt, less sugar, less oily stuff. I use more olive oil, like olive oil, coconut oil. I use more coconut milk. I would use like almond butter. I would use like what I call this thing, almond milk. Instead of the full cream milk, I would use almond milk. I would use like skim milk, like things with less fat inside. The almond butter, the reason why I use the almond butter, because it has less fat than the nut butter, right? So I would use more like the almond stuff, right? Like the almond milk, the almond butter, the more almond stuff I would use. I would use more coconut stuff, like the coconut milk. Like if I go make a punch, I gonna put coconut milk inside instead of full cream milk. So tends to try like cut out all these like calories and these fatty stuff. I would tend to cut that out. So I would go with my food list, and I would follow that list, and I would, which in sometimes it does be a little expensive, because sometimes you have to go by Real Value and them place, and that's and it's a lot. So the price maybe you might pay in a local supermarket, but the local supermarket sometimes don't have what you're looking for, because sometimes the recipe calls for certain things and it's only in Real Value and them place you would find these things. So sometimes that's be a bit costly, but I don't mind because it's healthy stuff, right? And that helped me to keep my weight at a normal range. Instead of going up, it would keep like the balance like where I want it, or sometimes it drop a little, but I don't want to lose weight too much because I kind of like my size that I have. It tends to make your clothes fit you properly, make you look good in your clothes. So I don't want to lose too much. So the weight I am at now, I find it okay for me. So I find following the food chart, I find it very, very healthier, right? Even though sometimes we might say, well, oh, that food too expensive, that thing too expensive. But I find following the chart, I think, if I could have put my hand on the book, I would have shown you. Let me see if I get the book, I think. Okay, hold on, let me see if I get it. Right. This what this book look like. You see, mark the low salt cooking. Right. So this is a book. You see, they have some nice dish inside here. So this one here, this is for like low salt, like people who travel it, who suffering like from high pressure and high cholesterol and these kind of thing. I would recommend this low salt book for them, right? So this one here is for like low salt, like who can't eat much salt. They have a lot of nice recipe, like the bread and the stuff inside them. Bread look good. They have nice thing you can, and you can make these things for yourself. And if the recipe calls for like 2 eggs, you can put 1, right? So all these here, see that nice thing, the nice little juice there. Could do the little glass of juice now. So all these, so this here is for like the low salt, but I don't really follow this one too much because this one here have some ingredients inside. Not evil. I don't even think you would find this in the state. This have some ingredients inside that me and I didn't even know what is the type of ingredients sometimes it have inside. So I don't really follow up the low salt. I purchased this because I was troubling from a little pressure issue, so I purchased it, but I don't really follow it up to my. This is my favorite. This one here, you see what it marked? Weight Watcher, right? This is my own all-time favorite Weight Watcher. This is what I would more follow. So, and if you look on the cover or the page, you see the portion that they have in this plate. They didn't have any big plateau. Right, this is something like a little serving plate, like whether just put like the dessert in, or maybe a little thing in soup or whatever inside, like a small portion of appetizer. So this is something like this. So you see, it's not much on this plate that they have here. Look, if you look in the up top, you see it's not a whole. The whole plate in full is just here a small amount. So I would more use this. You see the amount we haven't. The only thing I really don't like is like everything is meat. Everything is meat. Sometimes you don't want meat, right? So you see, and this here, so keep me from eating all these big fatty stuff. Because when I don't eat what I want to eat, you see, is more healthy stuff like broccoli, pumpkin, carrot. These things. So when I finish cooking this for me, well, I just cook my family normal meal because they tell me plain that this food is not for them. Them food too, the portion too small. So I just cook their normal food, and I just do my normal dish out of this book here. So this book here keep me from gaining a lot of weight, right? It keep your weight at one number. So I use this, right? So most of the ingredients, you might find it in Real Value and them place. And sometimes it's most of what you already have in your house. You just use. So, but to follow this recipe in this book, what you want to do is like, if you get up for make like the breakfast, right? If you get up for make the breakfast, make the lunch and the dinner at the same time. That's what I do. I could continue eating the type of food that they recommended. When I make the breakfast, I do the lunch and I do the dinner at the same time. So when I done eat my breakfast and I know lunchtime come around, I could go in the fridge and I could take out my own if it's something I have to store in the fridge and eat on time. When dinner time come around, I could go in the fridge, take it out, hot it and eat it. But if you just make the breakfast and then you gotta get up when it's lunchtime, you are now going and preparing the lunch, and then dinner time you're gonna wait for dinner time for prepare, you would never ever use the recipe in that book. Your weight would always going up, because the time you won't take when it's lunchtime for going for cook that, you won't eat what you have, right? If you have a family and you cook for them separate, you're going to end up eating their food instead of eating your food. So my advice is you prepare the 3 meals a day in one, right? You make your breakfast, make your lunch, make your dinner, and eventually you'd follow along this book. This book, I purchased this book on Amazon, right? If you want it, you can, maybe I can get the link for you and I could put it below this video, right? If you guys would like to have this book, if you want me to put a link, just let me know. So you can just click on it and you can go right to this book. On Amazon, I purchased this, so you can find it there. It has some really, really nice recipe inside. And believe me, when you see you don't make up these recipe, right? This food tastes so nice, so lovely, right? That you yourself didn't even know that you could have cooked them, food them for yourself. So I find to me is these book all these restaurants use and prepare them delicious dishes what they just do. So this book is a very good book. The portion kind of small and I like following it. I went and get some ingredients that I go in and make my dinner just now. And maybe when I finish it, I will put a photo up so you guys can see what I make for my dinner. And I think that would be a good thing. How about if we, maybe after we launch the sewing class, how about in between if we have like a cooking day, right? Like prepare a Weight Watcher dish. What do you think? You guys would like that? Like, do we see how the sewing going first, and then maybe we can slip a day in and maybe prepare a dish like maybe once a month or once a week, like a Weight Watcher dish. Show you guys how to prepare it, how to follow the recipe. What you think? If that is okay with you, it will be fine for me, which I love doing that. So we will see how things go and we will work that out, right? So that is one of the book I use to keep my weight at one level, right? So I hope that answers your question. So they have tons of questions here, but I think I would leave the rest of question for like next week, where I would come with answer the rest of question, because now kind of getting kind of late. I had things to go and do. As I said, I have my dinner to go and prepare. I have other things to go and do. So I will leave the rest of question for next week. So the last question that we on was with the Weight Watcher. So we will I think we will stay with this one here for the last, and next week we will continue from this. So I would write this down with the last question that I answer for you and continue with the rest from there. So Weight Watcher, I use this book. I follow along the recipe. And sometimes if you look in the recipe and you find certain thing, they have substitute. You can use things with like less oil, less sugar, less sweet. You can fit in with what you have, right? So you can make up your own recipe. Most of the time, sometimes I make up my own recipe. And sometimes something they call for in the book, sometimes I don't have it at hand. So I add something else, or maybe go online and see how to make up, maybe if they call for a sauce or maybe something to go with it. You could type in online how to make this sauce or how to make this or how to make that, and maybe they show you some ingredients you have home where you can put to get this sauce that they call for. So that is the Weight Watcher book. That's what keep me at the weight that I want to be at and not to go over, right? So that's it. So that's all I have to share with you for today. Next week, look out for me for the same time, all right? about 2 o'clock, same time, and I would continue the rest of the question. And by then, I hope the machine meet by then so I can show you what the machine look like, what for me personally, what I would hope you guys can get the same type of machine. So just in case it give any trouble, I could guide you along the line what to do and what not to do. So the class will be launching on the 24th of January, which is this month, on this same page. So go ahead, sign up, and make sure don't get left behind, right? The clothes that you guys see me wearing, you would learn to make all that in time, right? So go on, sign up to the page. Sign up even to my website, tamarafashionstyle.web, and you guys won't get left behind. You guys, a lot of you always like the clothes that I put up. So all that you would learn to make once you join Sewing with Tamara, you won't get left behind. You would learn to do everything. So you can rock your clothes just as Tamara rocking hers, right? You can look just as nice and everything. If you guys see in my classes the fabric that I using and you would want to use the same fabric, you notify me before so I can see if I can get that fabric for you. I can sell you that fabric. What I will do before the classes, I will put up a fabric that I plan to use, right? It won't be any stretchy anything, but it would be something without stretch. And if you guys want that fabric to sew along with me, maybe you can let me know early so I can get that fabric, and maybe wherever you is, if you where I am, maybe we can arrange and you can collect that fabric and so on. But you would have to purchase the fabric because the fabric is not free. Because remember, I have to buy that fabric. So when I buy the fabric, I could sell you the fabric because I always buy fabric in bulk. So if you notice I have a fabric that you want to use, maybe you can order 3 yards or whatever, but you have to let me know early. So what I'm going to do, the fabric that I will be using for the first project that we will be doing, right? Remember, the first project is the Tamara top, right? The Tamara top, that's what we'll be doing. I will put up the amount of cloth that you have to get and the type of fabric that we will be using. And if you guys want that fabric or you want something else, you can let me know. So what I'll do, maybe later in the afternoon, check back this page. I would get a photo, put up the things them that you will be using in the first classes, and let you get the fabric. If you can get it for yourself, no problem. But if you want I forget it for you, no problem, right? You can let me know. So later down, come back to the page. Tomorrow the latest, because later tonight I would be putting it up, right? For show you the type of fabric I'll be using. So if you want that, let me know. So enjoy, sign up to Sewing with Tamara so that you can follow along, right? So I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you guys for joining, and thanks for the support. You guys are always supporting me in everything that I am doing and I'm trying to do. You guys always support me, so I want to thank you guys so much for that, and I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate your comment and your like and everything, and I hope you guys continue supporting me throughout this year as you always does. So I just want to say thanks, and I'm happy to have to joining me on this live chat, and I'll see you again next week around the same time, God's willing. So you take care and you have a wonderful day. Bye.